Alright, so I'm going to show how to replace the charge port on this DELL XPS 139360. So here you can see the charge port is damaged. Now the pins in the center are just like bent. Alright, this is what the replacement looks like. It should look like this, where it has the plastic in the middle. Alright, so anyways, first thing we're going to use is a T5 or Torx 5 screwdriver bit. We're also going to need a PH0 or JAS0, and most likely we'll need a PH1 or JAS1 screwdriver. So first thing we're going to remove are the T5 or Torx 5 screws around the edge of the laptop. You want to keep them in order because they can be different size, shape, and lengths. The way I do that is I put them like this with the flat side down on my desk in the pattern that I remove it. So here you can see there's like this U shape. Alright, so we're going to put it like that. Alright, if this video helps you, make sure to like, subscribe, and share my channel with others so that they can also learn how to fix their devices or upgrade them. If the internal components are easy to replace or upgrade, I will go over them just to show you what exactly is in there. Alright, but anyways, let's go ahead and continue removing all these screws. If this video saves you a bunch of money, please consider contributing to the channel so that I can continue making these videos for a living. I do all these repairs for a living, fixing them for actual customers. I don't own any of these computers, so most likely by the time you see this video, I won't have it to do any like tests or checks on. So if your question is if I can show another like how to remove something, you'd basically have to ship me your computer for me to be able to do that. Alright, so anyways, now we got all the T5 Torx 5 screws out. We're going to switch over to the PH0 or JAS0 screwdriver. So I'll remove this one screw here. Okay, just like that. Alright, and then we'll drop that back down. Okay, now we're going to remove the bottom cover. Some of these are pretty difficult to remove, so we'll see. I'm not sure if this one will be difficult to remove or not. We're going to use a suction cup. Okay, closer to the front center-ish area. Alright, and then I'm going to kind of get my fingernail or pry tool in this gap. Here you can see actually there's a gap forming, so that's a good sign. It might be easy to remove. So let's go ahead and pull this up. Nope, I guess I was wrong. Alright, so no, this cover is going to be difficult. Alright, so what I'm going to do, let's go ahead and open up the screen here. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is get my fingernails in the crease here, or the gap. And then I'm going to use my thumb on the back. Let's see if we can pop that out. And yes, that's working. All right, so here you can see I'm going to use my other fingernail to pull the other half the other way. All right, let's go ahead and go to this side as well and do the same thing. All right, just going to get my fingernail in there. You might have to use like a metal pry tool if it doesn't come up. I'm going to close it because it's easier for me to reach in this way. Okay, and we're just going to go along the crease, and I'm using my palms to push down while I pull up with my fingernails here. Okay, and we're just going across the entire laptop, and I do feel the cover coming up, so should be good. Yep. All right, again, if you can't do this with fingernails, you're probably going to have to use some plastic or metal pry tools, but here you can see I got this big gap here forming. So now we're going to go along the side. Right, and do the same thing. Just pull that up. There we go. This is all coming out. Let's go over to this side. Same thing. Pull that up. You want to be careful with all the ports and stuff on the side as well, of course. There we go. Now that we got all the sides and that up, it just comes out pretty easily. Here you can see inside. I'll probably clean this out a little bit. Oh, there's quite a bit of dust built up right there. So we're going to toss that aside. Alright, so let's see in here, how difficult is it to replace this charge port? So let's move some of this tape aside. It looks like the charge port connector is right underneath this tape. Let me zoom in. Hopefully they didn't do the stupid thing and hide part of the charge port underneath the motherboard. Sometimes they like to do that, I don't know why, just to make it difficult. But let's peel this back. And it's looking like one of the easier type of connectors to remove. All right, we're going to switch to a PH0 or PH1 or JAS1 screwdriver, right? And we're just going to take this one screw out. Okay, now that we got that screw out, hopefully we can lift this out. Oh no, I think they did hide it underneath the motherboard. So we're going to grab this and we're going to just wiggle this connector, all right, to disconnect it. just like that. And yep, they hid this connector underneath here. So as you can see, they actually put the charge port underneath the motherboard. So I'm going to try and do this without taking the entire motherboard out. I know some people are probably like going to be disappointed because they want to see how to remove the entire motherboard. But I kind of want to do it. I mean, I'm doing this as a job for a customer. So it's kind of like, it's not worth it for me to put the time into taking it completely apart and risking damaging other things. I don't want the customer to wonder if something goes wrong, why other things broke if it didn't have to. So you got all these connectors here. I believe this is for the camera, the webcam. Then you got the wireless card here. When you take this screw out, this metal plate comes out. You can get the antennas out. You pull them up by the tails. If you're not sure how to do that, you can watch my other videos. In almost every video, I show this, more than 90% of the videos. All right, you got the BIOS or CMOS battery connector down here. Actually, let me zoom in and point out all this stuff a little bit better. So BIOS CMOS battery connector here. You got the speaker connector here, and the speaker wire runs along to the other speaker here, and the blue and white one goes to here. All right, what else we got? We got the battery connector here. So I'm gonna disconnect the battery, but because they put all this tape along it, I'm not gonna pull the entire battery out unless I have to. Let's see what else we got. We got the SSD here. This is a M.2. Did they label it? It looks like a SATA, but sometimes it's not. So let me confirm if I can. They don't say if this is NVMe or SATA. Okay, it's SATA, 6 gigabits per second. So there's a M.2 SATA connector. You got the LCD LVDS connector that goes here, 2 screws holding it down, and then I believe there's a little tab that you can pop it out. Again, all of these I show in other repair videos, so if you're curious how to remove them and you kind of want to learn how to remove stuff that I didn't show, just watch a few of my other videos, you'll be able to figure it out. Alright, you got the fan connector here. Then you got this connector that goes underneath the battery here that connects the SD card slot and this USB port here. Alright, as well as the fan connector. So if for some reason your fan's not working or the USB port or this isn't working, sometimes it could be this board or this cable that's running underneath. Okay, keep that in mind. Alright, there's not much else here that I need to remove. So I'm going to disconnect the battery here. So to remove or to disconnect that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to use my fingernails here, and then I'm going to use that to kind of just wiggle this connector out, just like this, pushing left, right, left, right. Okay, as you can see, I'm just wiggling this, and eventually it pops out just like that. So here you can see, I got the battery connector out. We're going to just leave that disconnected like that. Once you do that, you want to actually open up the computer here. All right, let me zoom out. And then you're going to press and hold the power button for 10 to 15 seconds just to be safe. This will drain power out of the motherboard, the capacitors, and things like that. So it makes it a lot safer to work on. All right. I highly recommend doing this. You can skip this step and be okay in some cases, but it's always better to be safe than sorry. It only takes a few seconds. You might as well do that instead of like risking damaging your entire motherboard. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove some of the screws on the motherboard that are holding down this area so I can get this piece out. So as you can see, the cable goes like this, and then what happens is they wrap this around this way, okay, and then they curl this over, which it's kind of a stupid design. They could have easily just made the wire go over the top and plug directly here, but I guess they did this just to make it harder to replace. Technically, I guess you can't really put it in that way, so I guess we're gonna have to do it. All right, let's go ahead and start removing some screws here. So we're gonna remove this one here. Again, keep all the screws in order because they are different size, shape, and lengths. If you mix them up, you can cause damage to your computer. All right, we're gonna remove the other one over here in this corner. Okay, we're gonna remove the one down here. Hopefully I won't have to pull the entire thing out. Let me see here. Okay, the headphone jack isn't hidden underneath this piece, so I think we should be okay just removing some screws to lift this up. All right, we're gonna remove this screw here. Okay, and let's remove the screw all the way over here. Okay, we're gonna just try and lift the board up a little bit from this corner. So let's see if we can lift this corner up, and yes we can. So here you can see I can lift this up just enough. All right, let's see if we have, there's no other screws hidden over here. Oh, we got also this one screw here holding the battery. For that, I believe we have to switch back to a PH0 or JIS0 screwdriver. Okay, there we go. And now that should be enough that we can lift the board up, I think. Let's see here. Yeah, the battery's on top, so it's kind of holding it down a little bit. But it's enough that we can lift this piece out, so I'm just lifting this. And then here we can pull this out, as you can see, all right? So the problem is they wrap this piece, if you see on top here. Let me zoom in. So they wrap this thing around that screw mount. So we're basically going to have to do the same. Oh, this charge port broke even more than I thought. So that plastic piece also broke off. All right, so we're gonna get that out. All right. And we're gonna have to wrap this new one around there just like that, okay? So let's see here. We're gonna try and fold this a little bit to make it easier to work with. Gotta kind of fold it yourself a little. You wanna be careful not to damage this too much. Okay, so now let's go ahead and lift this back up. Get the charge port in there. Okay, just like that. We're going to go ahead and put this screw in first. Okay, now that we got that screw in, what we're gonna do, hold this up again and then push that underneath. All right, again, this is gonna be a little tricky. Get that screw in there, okay. Come on, it doesn't wanna go in right. So you gotta get this twisted in properly and then get that in. It doesn't need to be exactly the same way, so here you can see it's kind of sticking up this way. That might be okay, but if we can, we want to twist it the right way. Let me actually take this out again so that I can work on it a little bit better. Okay, let's lift this back up and take this back out. Okay, and we want to try and get it to bow outwards like this. So, oops, sorry, like that. Okay, if you can get it to go that way, that's best. You want to have it go like before. All right, let's lift this back up. Get that back in place, and come on. This thing is a little tricky. I'm probably gonna use like some needle nose pliers to help with that, but let's see. All right, so I'm gonna hold the charge port into place while I put the screw back in. There we go. All right, so come on. Yeah, this thing is a bit tricky here. I don't know if I'll damage it if I use some needle nose pliers. Hopefully not. Let's try. So grab that, and we're gonna twist that back down the way it should be. There we go. It's going in. Yeah, this thing keeps wanting to twist upwards. It's kind of a pain. If you were to buy like a used part, it should already have that bend in it. So yeah, this one's like a new one, so it's kind of doesn't have that bend to fold the way it was. So I'm gonna grab from here. There we go. That works. And I can hold that in that way. Perfect. Oop, let's pop it back up. Okay, just like that. So you want to get this back the same way. All right, and it plugs in back like this. Okay, so let's plug that back in. Lined up, and pinch the two pieces together. All right, you want to make sure that you have that go the right direction. Okay, so if you're wondering, it goes like this, and you have these little gold pins showing. You don't want the opposite side up. All right, just like that. Let's push this back some more. Yeah, this is going to be a little bit tricky, but we'll see what we can do. Let's go ahead and get these screws back in. Excuse me. All right. Get that screw back in. Hold the motherboard back down on top of the cable. There we go. I'm going to try and push this back over a little bit, just to rotate that thing. So this thing's kind of being a pain. It keeps rotating itself down the opposite way. Stay in there, please. This is being a pain. Let's take this one screw back out, or loosen it a little so it can move around. Okay, it might help to hold this in the right position, and then while I'm holding it, I can put the screw in. Let's see here. Can I grab you, please? There we go. Rotate that. Hold that into place. Oops. There. Now I'm going to hold this into place while I tighten this screw. There we go. Alright, and then let's go ahead and move this over. And it should be okay there. Let's put that tape back down, and let's go ahead and put back the rest of the screws. Alright, second screw over here. Alright, other screw all the way down here. We probably didn't have to remove that screw. Alright, and we're going to go back over here and get back these two screws. This one. Again, we're using the PH1 or JIS1 screwdriver right now. Then we had the other screw. Where was that? Here. Okay. And then we had the one screw that was in the battery that we need to switch back to the PH0 or JIS0 screwdriver. Okay, and we'll tighten that screw in here. Alright, again, sorry I didn't completely take apart the thing, but the main goal was just to replace the DC jack or the charge port. Hopefully the rest you'll be able to figure out. If anything, you can watch my other videos again, and it should show. You should be able to figure it out from there. Alright, so I'm going to just clean this out a little bit. And then we're going to go ahead and plug the battery back in. So I need to pull this back slightly here. Okay, and then just line this up. Make sure it's lined up when you put this connector back in. Alright, and then just pinch the two pieces together just like that. There we go, got it all back together. Alright, I'm going to clean the dust out real quick, and then we'll put the thing back together. Alright, oops, too far. There we go. Alright, I'll see you guys in a bit. Alright, I'm back, so I cleaned that out, cleaned this out, and now let's go ahead and put it back together. So just get the cover, put it back on top. Alright, we're going to get this back side lined up first. Looks good, looks good. Alright, and then we can go ahead and clip everything back down. There we go. Alright, we're going to stick with the PH0 or JS0 screw first, and we'll put this back in. Go, tighten that into place. Alright, and now we're going to switch over to the T5 or Torx 5 screwdriver, and let's go ahead and put those back in. Oops, sorry. Get that lined up. Tighten that screw down. There we go. Alright, and that's pretty much it. Hopefully this video helped you guys. Again, if it did, make sure to like, subscribe, and share my channel so that others can find my videos and be able to fix and upgrade their devices as well. Alright, again, if it's helped you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little bit to the channel so that I can continue making these videos for a living. Thank you for watching. You're welcome to stay as I put back the rest of the screws. But that's pretty much it. Alright. Oh, that clip didn't go in all the way. Make sure all these clips are in. Okay, good. Some clips need to go in. Alright, thanks for watching. See you all in the next one. Bye. Let's drop this.